Are you ready to boost your confidence when selling so you're able to close more deals? Nikki Roush will show you how to build a foundation of skills and a mindset that creates sales success without feeling pushy or salesy and without fear of rejection. She is a sales strategist and coach with more than 25 years of sales experience and is master certified in neuro-linguistic programming. This is a radically different approach to selling. It's a no sleaze, no slime, and no stress approach to building your business. This is Sales Maven. Here's Nikki.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to the Sales Maven Show. I'm your host, Nikki Roush. I'm your own personal sales maven, here to offer you tips, techniques, and strategies to master your sales conversations. In today's episode, we're going to talk about what to say when people ask you if you will trade services. Now, sometimes when I talk about this topic, it can bring up a lot of angst. It can incite some people being really passionate about this particular topic. So how do you feel about it? Has anybody asked you to trade your services because they didn't want to just pay up front? They wanted to know, like, hey, if I gave you this, would you do this for me? And how has it worked out? I'm so curious to hear. So please share with me if you have some insight about this, and especially if you have a strong opinion about this. Go check out, we have a poll about this on LinkedIn, and I would love to have your opinion about trading services and how you feel about it. Now, I know for some people, they get really offended when somebody asks, whereas I actually know many people that love to trade services. So however you feel about it is totally fine. But the objective of the podcast today is to give you some possible language when somebody asks you, so you have something to say. I find that when people don't have something to say, they get stuck. They respond in a way that they wish they had responded differently later. So this is why I think it's always so important to kind of have in your back pocket, what will I say when this situation comes up? And if you're newer in your business, I find that this topic comes up more often when somebody is newer in their business than if somebody has been in business for a really long time. Maybe it's because you already have your set answer. So hopefully you'll get something out of this podcast wherever you are in your business today. Now, as far as my own personal thought and feelings around trading services, I grew up in a family business where we did trade. That was part of the business. My family bought, sold, and traded a particular product. So it was actually tools. It was like tools that people use to like build things and tear things down. And so my grandfather and father had a tool store, and I grew up working in this tool store, and trading services was really common. And as a matter of fact, I have a deep appreciation for pizza. I love pizza. And as a kid, the only way we got to eat pizza, frankly, because my dad could not afford to feed his 4 children, like takeout pizza, was because he used to trade tools for these like pizza certificates that we would have like a certain dollar amount and we could go and get pizza. So I actually grew up trading services and was so grateful and thankful that it allowed me to eat pizza. There were many other things that came out of trading for tools, and also like jewelry. My first like diamond ring came as a result of a trade that my grandfather did with somebody, and he ended up giving me my first like diamond ring that I was super proud of. So trading services was very natural. Now, where I am in my business today, it is very uncommon for me to trade services. And not because I'm anti trading services, but mostly it's because I am in a position now in my business that if I need something, I'm going to go out and hire somebody to do it. I'm going to pay them their fee for their expertise. And so I expect to be paid for my expertise as well when somebody wants to do something or wants something from, what I can offer them. I expect to be paid for it. And so one of the things that I think is really important is to have a little bit of dose of clarity around this idea of trading for services. Because I think oftentimes we forget that when somebody is asking you to trade services, they're actually asking you if they can sell you something. Because you have to be willing, and you also have to find value in whatever it is that they're offering for the trade, because there obviously is some value in what you offer, right? So there needs to be some type of compensation for it. That's the idea behind the trade. But understand that when you are trading, you are buying something, right? Like you're using your expertise to buy whatever it is this person is trading you for. And so I bring that up because I think sometimes we think, oh, well, it's not a big deal to trade. Well, it certainly is if what the thing is that you're trading for doesn't really bring any value to you. It's also really hard, I have found over the years in trading services, that it can be really hard to have both parties feel like it's a win-win. I find a lot of times somebody feels like they got the short end of the stick in the deal. And of course, you don't want to be the person who gets the short end of the stick. Although for me, I don't ever want the other person to feel like they got the short end of the stick. So think about that when you're trading services. Is this something that you would be willing to pay for? And whatever it is that they're offering to you from a trade. And if it isn't something you're willing to pay for, you probably don't want to trade. Like something to think about, okay? And just because somebody wants to sell something to you, whether it's a trade or they want you to buy from them, that doesn't mean that you're obligated to do it. And it doesn't mean that you're obligated to give your service to them because they want to trade either. So just like anything in life and in business, it's okay to say no. And I also want to say, it's also okay for somebody to ask. I don't get offended when somebody asks me to trade services, but this is why I think it's important to have a response when somebody asks you, like have a response ready so you're not stumbling, bumbling over your words, that you feel really confident in your response, and that comes across to the other person that you're not offended that they asked, and you're also okay declining if that is your choice. Now, if your choice is like, dang, yes, of course, I'd be happy to trade for that, like win-win, like, oh, I'm super excited about it. Great. That's fine too. Just remember having a response is often helpful. So let's talk about, I'm going to give you some suggested possible responses. Of course, tweak these as you feel comfortable. Make them something that you feel comfortable saying. It has to come out of your mouth and feel authentic versus feel like a canned answer or feel like an uncomfortable or awkward answer as well. So here are 3 potential responses for you when somebody asks you, and really this is when somebody asks and you want to decline. Okay. So you might say, thank you for asking. I don't trade for services. However, it'd be my honor to earn your business. Is that something you'd like to chat about further? Just because somebody asks you if you're willing to trade services doesn't mean that if your answer is no, that you shouldn't still invite them to do business with you. Be okay with that. Now, of course, how you respond, what do you do with your voice? What do you do with your facial expressions, your body language? All of that plays a factor into this. But it is absolutely okay for you to decline trading services and still invite them to work with you. Now, here's another way, if you like this better. You might say, thank you for asking. All 3 of my responses, by the way, start with thank you for asking. I like to recognize how hard it can be sometimes for people to ask for what they want. So I like to often say thank you for asking, even if my answer is going to be no. So thank you for asking. As much as I appreciate what you offer, it's not a good fit for me. And when you're ready to work together as a paying client, I'd love to assist you. It can be something simple like that. When you're ready to work together as a paying client, I'd love to assist you, or I'd be happy to assist you, or I'd be honored to assist you. You can tweak that however you want to. And then here's the final 3rd response that you might use. Thank you for asking. Trades are not something I'm able to do. I'd be honored to work with you as a client in a more traditional sense if that's interesting to you. Now, with these 3 responses, your objective here is to say them confidently to the person you're talking to, and then be quiet and wait and see what they say next. So again, back to the first response, if you say, is that something you'd like to chat about further? You got to wait and see what they say. Don't keep talking. Now, for the second response, when I say, when you're ready to work together as a paying client, I'd love to assist you. You can wait here, but you don't need as big of a pause. Like, this isn't the like make or break, don't talk first. Absolutely no, because it's not a like very specific yes or no invitation, but you might give it a little bit of space, a little pause, and then you might change the topic if you feel like there's no way this person is ever going to want to pay me money. Okay. And then on the third response where you say, I'd be honored to work with you as a client in a more traditional sense, if that's interesting to you, you do want to wait and see what kind of a response they give. If they're like, well, yeah, actually, I do still want to work with you regardless of whether we trade or not, like I'm totally in. Oftentimes, like people are still in, even when you say no. I've had many people hire me still, even after I've declined trading services. I've had many people never want to talk to me again when I've declined trading services too. So kind of everything in between. And any of those are okay as long as I'm standing in my place of credibility and I'm being kind and I'm being authentic in my response. Okay. So remember how you say it. If you act offended or sassy, you might risk damaging rapport in the relationship and earning this person's business in the future if they're not ready to give it to you yet. So keep in mind how you respond. Super important. You might always start out with that. Thank you for asking. Even that little thing right there is such a rapport builder. All right. So I hope you found this episode useful, or at least like have it in your back pocket for when this situation comes up. Have a response when somebody asks you to trade services and see what happens. Be curious, go into it curious and see what happens. Now, if you have been listening to the podcast, you know that 2021 is the year of the question. So I want to give you a question that I don't think I've shared on the podcast yet. I share it often with many of my clients. It's one of my favorite questions. So here it is. The question this week is asking somebody, what would it take to earn your business? Now, sometimes when I tell people like, this is one of my favorite questions, I get looks of like utter, like, oh my gosh, I could never say that. Yes, you can. You absolutely can say this to somebody. How you say it matters. How you approach it, it matters. You don't just walk up to anybody on the street. But if there's somebody you've been building a relationship with and they haven't given you any buying signals, but yet you have a sense that what you offer might be of value to them, don't be afraid to ask this question. What would it take to earn your business? You can say it in a kind, casual way. You can say it even in with a little bit of a smile on your face. Like, what would it take to earn your business? Many times people haven't even thought of what their answer could be to this question, and they don't know until you ask it. They might not have even thought about hiring you yet. But by asking this question, you plant the seed. And they might not have an answer the first time you ask it, but the next time they see you, they might have an answer and you have an opportunity to actually earn somebody's business. So I hope this question was helpful. Think about it. There will be some additional training around this question inside the Sales Maven Society because I am recording little training videos around each one of these questions that I'm sharing on the podcast. If you would like access to that content or if you are ready to ignite your sales, then come join us in the Sales Maven Society. This is my monthly membership program. This is where you bring your questions, you bring your sales situations, troubles, ideas. You come with those and I'll provide answers and guidance to boost your confidence in all of your sales situations. You can join the Sales Maven Society today by going to salesmavensociety.com I mentioned this is a monthly membership. It's $147 a month to be in here. You get access to me. You get access to live coaching calls with me every month. You get access to my training content on sales, and you get access to a phenomenal group of people. There's the best of the best in there. And I feel really confident saying that. The people who join the Sales Maven Society are rocking it. They're doing amazing things. They are incredibly thoughtful, giving, loving, and supportive. I don't think you'll find a more supportive group. This is what people often say about how amazing the group is. So come join. And as a matter of fact, for your first month, here's a trial code that will save you $100 off your first month. So you can join, test it, see if it's the group for you for only $47 by by entering the coupon code 47trial, the number 4, the number 7, and then TRIAL, all one word, 47trial will get you $100 savings off your first month in the Sales Maven Society. We'd love to have you join us. In the meantime, tell me, what do you think about trades? I want to hear. Please connect with me on social media. You'll find me on LinkedIn under Nikki Roush. You can also go to the business page, Sales Maven. You will find me on Instagram under Sales Maven. I hang out on Facebook too, but mostly just in the group for the Sales Maven Society members. So I'm not as active there, but I would love to connect with you. I'd love to learn more about you as a listener, more about your business, and how I might best be a resource to you. Take care and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to Sales Maven. Visit us online at yoursalesmaven.com/maven for more resources to boost your confidence and skills.